How to live more joyfully. A talk with Unmani.
So how can we live more joyfully? Well, usually we are searching for joy in our experience, in what is happening in our lives. So perhaps in what we're doing, or where we are, or who we're with. And although we may experience some experiences of joy, which are beautiful, but they are very much dependent on the circumstances most of the time. And so if those circumstances change, then we don't feel joy anymore. And then we go searching to fix our circumstances in the hope that that will bring more joy. And of course, if you are in circumstances that are very painful or full of fear or suffering, then of course it can help to bring more joy by, if possible, doing something to change the circumstances. If you can, it's not always in our control. But this is more superficial. It doesn't ever really get to the root of real joy. It just brings temporary experiences of more ease or more or less suffering. Real joy is not in the way that the mind necessarily perceives joy. If you take a moment to imagine joy, maybe it's related to an experience that you've had in the past, or maybe it's some imaginary state. I would say that most of the time we are imagining a more, let's say, an excited high state. Not always, but often that's what we are assuming is joy when we are feeling kind of high. And that high is the opposite to feeling low, or a bit down, or a bit depressed even. And so often we are flip-flopping from feeling down to feeling high, and then feeling down again, and then chasing the high. And this chasing these highs, which are more highs of the mind, sense of excitement, this is very exhausting, because the highs are a high for me. You know, it's about the story of me and what this high means for me. What kind of a person it makes me. How it feeds into my identity. And then when we lose the high, when it changes to the low, also that low is being made to mean something about me and my identity. And these highs and lows are suffering, basically. It's the endless cycle of suffering, chasing the highs, running from the lows. So true joy is not to be found in this cycle. And this is quite radical, really. Because what I'm saying is that true joy is not an experience. We may have an experience as like a byproduct of acknowledging what is beyond all experiences. We may have these beautiful byproducts of what we might call joy or peace or bliss or love. But those are more byproducts. And that's very different to when we make those experiences really mean something about me. When we see that they are byproducts, then we don't give them too much meaning. They don't mean anything about me. They're just something to enjoy, for sure. Why not? But that's not the point. You know, the experience of that byproduct is not really the essence of joy. The essence really is consciously acknowledging what is beyond all experience. When we consciously acknowledge this, this is answering our deepest longing, our deepest call home to ourselves. This is waking up to the truth of who we are consciously. And this is not an intellectual understanding. It's not about holding on to some attitude or spiritual concept. It's really a recognition that is beyond all concepts, all words. So all these words actually are just pointing. They don't actually say it. They cannot. They're always going to be limited. So it's about recognizing what I'm pointing to beyond these words even. Recognizing who you are as joy itself. And it doesn't mean that you have an experience of joy when you recognize this. You may not have any particular special experience. But it's not about the experience. As soon as you are focusing on having a joyful experience, you are back in suffering again, chasing high experiences and running from low ones. But when you see that who you are is aware of all these experiences, this is deep relaxation and peace. A real coming home to what is always here, no matter what the experience. And when we consciously acknowledge this, we tend to have byproducts of joy in our life. It overflows because our true nature is joy, actually. Not as an experience, but in its essence. It is unlimited joy, unlimited love, peace, wholeness, freedom. All of those words and none of them. So when we consciously acknowledge this, somehow we come in alignment with that in our human experience. It's like our human experience acts as like a bridge between the human life, the human living its life in this world, and that is aware of it. So in the moment where we consciously acknowledge and we recognize, I am not limited to who I think I am. I'm not limited to the story of me and my experience. When we recognize what is aware of all of this, this is like a moment of like a bridging. And in that recognition moment, there may be this overflowing of joy, the joy of recognizing my true home, my true self. This is such joy. And this is always available. Any moment that we see, I'm not my thoughts, a moment of quiet mind, it's possible to see, to consciously acknowledge that I am not what I think I am. Any moment of bringing our attention to what is actually here, rather than spacing out into our thoughts or our me stories or identities. When we come back to the simplicity of presence, whatever is actually here now, once again, here is this essential joy that can overflow into our daily experience by itself, without any need to chase anything or do anything. It's so very simple, actually, although the mind makes it very complicated, as if it's very difficult to arrive somewhere. But this is still referring to me and my story and my life, my experience. Just simply stopping all of that right now. And here it is. Simple joy in just being here for no reason, nothing to do, nowhere to go, nothing to get. Joy is so much more simple and ordinary than we think. It's not about having a high. If you do have a high, great, enjoy it, but it's going to pass. It can't be relied upon. Only the true joy of who you are is the only thing, it's not a thing, but the only thing that we can rely on. Your true nature.